Alright, this is going to be a video on scarcity versus abundance in your life. What that means is basically your perspective, the bias through which you see everything, and we can choose basically more or less. Sometimes it's a process to start to see it or be able to choose completely, but we are able to choose between scarcity and abundance. What that means in your life is being happy with abundance is being happy, having everything you need, knowing everything you need is out there, knowing there's enough for everyone, knowing you can be helpful to everyone, even if they're mean to you, bad to you, aren't appreciative. Living in abundance is where you want to be, basically, because our definition of success is basically abundance. But you don't need anything to live in abundance. Nothing is enough in abundance. Scarcity, on the other hand, is fear-based. Scarcity is there's not enough to go around. It's them or me. It's living in fear. It's constricting yourself, because then you can't be open, you can't think creatively, you can't allow other people to be creative too, because when your thinking is fear-based and negative and there's scarcity and everything is scarce and there isn't enough to go around, it spreads, it's contagious, and also in abundance it's contagious. Like you if you're more so negative now, you would want to be around a person that's more in abundance. The problem is, people in abundance usually recognize negativity and scarcity, so if there's too much of a gap, you're going to be bringing them down a little bit, and they're going to notice. So you want people to be around people who are a little bit above you as far as abundance goes. But it's a decision. It's seeing the world from a different perspective. It's a reference point. So you have to work at understanding abundance and understanding scarcity, so you can identify it and choose what reference point you want to live your life from. I mean, like I said, scarcity based on fear. It's total fear domination. That's kind of what it comes down to, and it spreads, like I said. Living in scarcity, you'll be stuck at the same job. You think, well, no, I can't switch. I can't do anything else because of this reason, and that reason. But in abundance, it's like, well, you know what? If this didn't work out, then I already know I can figure something out, because there's enough in the world. I know I'm creative enough. I know I'm good enough to do that. I know I can do anything I set my mind to. I know I work on myself all the time, so this is, I have other options. These other people that I'm around, if you're at a job where people are negative and in scarcity, which is pretty common considering most people end up with, either a retail job, an hourly job, something within a company, is where a hierarchical company like that, where people settle, that those entry-level hourly jobs, they tend to be people that don't know they're in scarcity, in a fear-based mode. Of course, there's always exceptions. Some people don't want the responsibility of maybe having their own business or being a manager, or our school system is very poor right now as far as loans and paying loans. So there's always exceptions, but in general, that's the type of people you're going to be around. So if you're in that sort of job, you really have to be able to sort of step it up and work on yourself, and not let other people draw you into their negativity and into their scarcity, because then you're finished. You can always get out of it, but you don't. The longer you're stuck in it, the more ingrained it is in your mind, the harder it is to escape from. So, I mean, that's scarcity versus abundance. It's a reference point. So in every video I'm going to say like meditation. From that reference point of meditation, you let go of everything, and in abundance nothing is enough. So in meditation, when you accept nothingness, so to speak, nothing going on, there's no here, there's no there, past, future. When you accept just the present moment, the now, that is enough. That's all that you need. So from there, in your everyday life, you can access that feeling. As if you keep on meditating, it trains your brain. Eventually, your brain will be trained for abundance. Everything is a process, so it's not instant. You can't just say, "Well, I'm doing this now." Maybe if someone's in a really life-changing experience, it's enough to change your brain at that, like that. But otherwise you have to work on it. So from meditation, you get that reference point. You get to go out into the world and sort of access that place where nothing is enough. Therefore, anything else that's going on in your life isn't necessarily negative, because you're already ready to lose it. Let's see. So I wrote down a quote here. So basically, abundance is choosing to view reality and use your life for positivity without negativity. Basically, I've said that. But also, mainly all success worth getting understands abundance versus scarcity, especially in our country and political system. Meaning, we have huge opportunities here. We're not under a dictatorship. We're not oppressed so much. Versus other countries and the entire history of the world. So really, everything is in place for you. And sometimes people feel guilty because it's like, well, I know I don't have a bad life, but I still feel bad. I still feel like, of course there's other countries, your life is in danger all the time. And so why can't I be happy here? Well, no matter what, there's work that you have to do on yourself. So you shouldn't feel guilty about that. There's always a process. There's always a path you have to take. If you give anyone everything, that doesn't make them happy. Happiness is internal. It comes from within. But we have pretty much all the external factors set in our favor. So really, there's not much excuse to not start. That's really what you should be going for. So that's scarcity versus abundance. I had some notes down here. I did have at least one quote that I wanted to read. But that's really the point I'm trying to make. And also another tactic just to make some concrete things you can use, and this isn't just a wishy-washy video. So from the meditation, you can access that internal space, but also sort of when, let's say you're at work or wherever, where it's stress and it starts to become fear-based and there's scarcity and, oh, well, I could never do that, there's not enough time for this. Sort of like a semi-meditative state works really well. If you focus on your breathing, but just while you're doing everyday things. It's kind of like the practice of Zen. It's like if you're washing the dishes, you just sit there and wash the dishes. It's not like, oh, I gotta get to this, I gotta get to that now. You enjoy the process. So focusing on your breath, like in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. While you're at work, especially if it's something that normally stresses you out, that's a good tactic. And reading is huge. The problem is, once you start reading, you realize the gap between it is the information age, but you spend so much energy sifting through everything that when someone has to actually write a book, most of the time, it's very concise, pertinent information for you. As long as you find a book that's pretty modern, And I mean, you can see reviews on everything now. You can use the computer and the internet as a tool, but it shouldn't be your number one source of information. You really have to read. And I recommend just getting like a Kindle and keep a whole library. I'm an e-ink one because that's a lot easier on the eyes. You can keep a whole library on there, access everything, highlight, share, save things. And, you know, those are the tactics to begin to get out of scarcity and into abundance. And so you really have to have just a defining decision to begin that process, not to say, oh no, I'm just in abundance now and I'm going to be successful right now. Absolutely. But all along that process, you want to be enjoying it, not I'm here, I need to be there, all of this doesn't matter. You have to enjoy the whole process and learn to enjoy it. And that's what it comes down to. Like I said, washing the dishes. Just wash the dishes. It's like a Zen state. Live in the now. And you will know abundance.